every brother that's caught in the crossfire. That's caught in the crossfire.
Without mercy.
Hey guys, Alninio here, and today we're going to be discussing the items for Katarina. Everything you see right here, we're going to be discussing the items, what I think is best for Katarina, and in the new rework, of course. And we're going to discuss why I think some of these items will be good on the new Katarina, and why I think some of the items will be bad for the Katarina rework. So let's get started. We're starting off with Gunblade. The reason we start off with Gunblade is because the new Katarina has AD scaling on her W, E, and her ult. There's much higher AD scaling. We've never seen shunpo have AD scaling on the current Katarina. So there's a whole lot of AD scaling going on, and I think Gunblade is a good mix of both AD and AP. So Gunblade might be a potential good item, although I'd probably test this out later. I think we'd go with Lotus first because Lotus is the key to being mobile on Katarina. Lotus has also been buffed from 7% to 10% movement speed way back, so I see no reason not to get Lotus still, although Gunblade is a really good competitor now to Lotus in my opinion because of her AD scaling and all that, so it might in the end complement her playstyle, who knows for sure, but I think Gunblade is definitely headed in the right direction with Katarina's new kit, for sure. The next item we're going to be talking about is Abyssal Scepter. Abyssal Scepter is getting changes. Yes, about time. We see a good change to Abyssal that will increase her AP damage by 10%. So they removed the aura where it reduces 20 to 25 MR, or sorry, from 10 to 25 MR, depending on how far you're in the game and depending on your level. So that was removed. And now we have this increased 10% AP, which I think is a very good addition. It gives addition also with Amar, which is nice. I'd have more of a reason to buy Abyssal now, more than ever, just because of that increased 10% of AP as her new unique passive, which would be amazing on Cat if you think about it. Although I think Abyssal will be really good once you have AP. Like for example, I wouldn't rush Abyssal as a first item. I wouldn't rush it first because simply it just gives you 10% more AP when you don't exactly have the AP. So I think Abyssal strength lies later on when you have AP damage. So I'll probably get it after Luden's Echo or something if I really need it. Also, I don't prioritize MR early because I am consistently safe in lane, or try not to die, and I try to make risky plays, but I know not to go too far. I know my limits, so I don't feel like I never go Abyssal first item. The only time I've won Abyssal first item is before the changes, which was when Abyssal had an MR drop on minions. You can drop MR on minions by 20 and allows you to have better lane control, but that doesn't exist anymore, so it's a completely different concept. Although I think Abyssal now in this rework will definitely feel a lot stronger. It will feel better on Katarina just because of that 10% more AP. Although I wouldn't know exactly how it would look like in game, I still think it's a path in the right direction for Katarina by going for that Abyssal. The next item we're going to be talking about is Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Now, her ulti. Everyone knows her new Katarina ult. It's a lot faster and also has better scaling. So late game, you're a monster. You're a spinning monster kicking ass. So when you look at Rylai, it gives slow, right? And her ulti is actually a lot stronger in terms of scaling now, so it gives me more of a reason to buy Rylai now. Although I probably wouldn't rush this item simply because I like mobility on Katarina. It fits my style. I like being a roamer. I like being quick. I like returning to lane quickly. I like to chase enemies. I like to escape. I'm a roamer. So that's why I'd rather go Lotus first item rather than prioritize Rylai just for my ult. I don't really care much about ult unless this change proves otherwise with her new ult damage, and it makes it that her ult is just so much better with Rylai. I feel Rylai is a good item on her with the rework. Her ult scaling is higher and it's a lot faster, meaning you can get that slow really quick. I like it. It seems like a good idea to go for Rylai if you think about it with the new cat. Although I probably will end up buying the Lotus just because it fits my style more, and I also go for the mastery called the Wanderer, which allows you to roam faster out of combat, because I'm a crazy roamer. I like to be top, I like to be bot, I like to return to lane, I like to chase, so I think Lotus fits me more. Although Rylai might make a really good item after Lotus, or after Void Staff, whatever it is that you buy after Lotus, because Void Staff second item can also be ideal depending on what the enemies build. So Rylai is definitely a step to the right direction for Katarina. Next item, my baby, my beautiful item, my core item, Ludan Echo. Now, the reason I love this item is because it's mobile. It gives you that mobility, like I said before. Mobility is the key to Katarina. Also, this item has been buffed from 7% movement speed to 10% movement speed way back. So, it gives me more of a reason to buy this item. There also, the initial burst on 100 charges gives you that initial burst, which is so nice. I like going in and just dealing so much damage, and Ludan really helps with that. It helps big time. It gets shit done. That's why I like Ludan. The mobility it gives is very helpful in like every situation, so I see no reason why not to grab this item. It's like meant for Katarina. It's built for Katarina in every way. So, sorry, voice crack. So I really think that it's a fantastic item, and definitely go for it, 100%. Next up is Dorn Shield. Now, this item, as we all know, is actually really good on current Katarina because her HP regen early is horrible. She actually has one of the worst HP regens in the game. Or not in the game completely, but she has a weak HP regen compared to other champions. Her HP regen is not exactly amazing, so Dorn Shield really helps her out in lane by giving her that extra health regeneration in lane and extra survivability. I think it's a very good item, but in the rework Katarina, there are changes to her health regen, there are changes to her laning phase, and her laning phase is being improved overall, so would this item be good still? Maybe. I think it's a still good item because it keeps you alive in lane, but now Katarina's more aggressive in lane. You can see the way Riot's designing her. They want to make her really aggressive in lane. You can see like all the bouncy shit, all the going in and going out. You know for sure that they're trying to bring aggression. So I really think Dark Seal and Boots are good starting items if you're looking for the aggressive style. If you're against Victor or something and you feel like you don't want to play aggressive, Dorn Shield may be good still for you. I think Dorn Shield is still a great item, honestly. I think it's a fantastic item. It gives Katarina exactly what she needs in lane at the current cat, although maybe it's not as good as it would be on the current cat to rework cat. I think this might be okay on rework cat, but with her aggressive playstyle, I think you want to complement that with a good starting item like Dark Seal. I love Dark Seal. I don't rush it to Magi, by the way. Don't get confused. Why do you go Dark Seal? I love Dark Seal. It gives HP, 25% increased healing from potions, which allows me to sustain myself really well. You have room for 3 health pots, and it gives you AP early. So it allows you to poke and allows you to farm really well. So Dark Seal is like easily one of my favorite starting items on cat. Next item is Dark Seal. Like I said, Dark Seal. Fantastic item. Gives you 25% increased healing potion. I think this might be the best starting item on Katarina. I see no reason why this wouldn't be. It has everything Katarina needs in it in the early stages of the game. That extra AP will really help out. And if you manage to get stacks, if you manage to get a kill, you get more AP. So you have nothing to lose. Even if you don't stack it, it doesn't matter. You're not gonna upgrade it to Magi Soul Stealer. You're just gonna be thinking about getting that early, getting that extra AP early, getting them stacks if possible. If you can get those stacks, get them. Also, since Katarina has a better aggressive laning phase, this item makes more sense to get because of its aggression and because of how aggressive of an item it is. It's just, I think this is the way to go. Dark Seal, rework Katarina, 100% the way to go. I think so. Just don't upgrade to Magi Soul Stealer. Next item is Guardian Angel, one of the best late game items on Katarina, period. This item just allows you to go in, die, still have chances to get resets, get back to life, kill again. There's no reason why you wouldn't get this item on Cat. It's just the best late game item on Katarina. Some people might say, oh, but you should probably get a Rylai by late game. Rylai is actually really, really good, and you know, gives health, it gives survivability. Yes, you're right, but the thing with GA on Cat is even after you die, you can live and get more resets. So if you fuck up a reset, which is, by the way, you have more chances of fucking up late game. So GA just makes more sense to get late game because of that chance of fuck up. You know, it happens. Shit happens. You go in, you get fucked over, you get CC'd, and shit like that happens. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It depends how shit goes. I still think GA is going to be amazing on the rework Katarina. I think this item is great, fantastic, really good item for late game, and I think you have no reason not to get this item. I think it's a fantastic item, and it still has its strength, its core. They didn't change Guardian Angel in the items, they didn't make changes to it. I think it's still the way to go for late game. Next up is Magi. I'm not gonna talk too much about this. I would say no. X, just a big giant X on Magi. I wouldn't go for this item. Just because it's way too risky. It's like an unnecessary risk that you shouldn't really take. Why would you risk, you know, getting a Magi and wasting so much gold on it when you can buy a needlessly large rod and get your loot in it? Be more consistent with damage rather than going the risky path and not get resets and not get kills. All of a sudden you see yourself falling behind and shit goes down. I will say this, if you're bronze or silver, this might be good if you know what you're doing, but just be careful when buying this item. I'm not a fan of Magi at all. Only Dark Seal Max. I wouldn't go for Magi. Next up is Rabadon's Death Cap, and there's no reason to say anything here. Rabadon's Death Cap is easily one of the best items in League of Legends in terms of damage, so I'd probably say get it. Although I wouldn't get it after Luden or like early stages in the game. I always buy Rabadon like way later, because I feel like that snowballing potential's really gone on Cat later on, and I focus on Luden, Zhonya, and Void Staff early, because let's say you buy a Rabadon and a Luden, and you don't have Void Staff, and all of a sudden they have Mom Memorias, they have Spectre Cal, they have Banshees, they have Locket, they have all that bullshit, shitty fuck that pisses me off. You can't do anything. You just have damage, but you don't have anything to complement your damage. That's why I think you need to constantly pay attention to enemies' items and buy Rabadon accordingly. I think with the new Katarina though, since she's a lot more stronger early game, this might be a good item to get after Luden, but you need to be careful. Just keep your eyes open. If they have magic resistance, if they have Locket, if they have Banshee, you need to keep your eyes open. Always press tab, check the items, and buy accordingly to the situation that you're in. Don't just stick to a core build and stick with it every single game. Evolve in the situation. Sometimes I'll get the Void Staff second item, sometimes I'll buy a Zhonya second item. It depends on the situation. Okay, let's say they have a Vi who can ult me and I can't cancel her ult, I can't escape it. I have Zhonya, I get Zhonya second item and I completely dodge Vi ult. You know, just buy according to the situation is the best thing I can tell you. Of course, next item is the Zhonya, my favorite item on Katarina because it fits her style so well of going in and then pressing Zhonya for your team to follow up. It's with Katarina, you just go in and then you pop Zhonya and your team can follow up after that. It just allows you to really play aggressively and still have that safety factor with the active on Zhonya, which I think is a fantastic item. A lot of people disregard this item now because, you know, it has less AP, blah blah blah. The passive active cost. It increases the cooldown on the active. Of course, that's annoying. Of course, still it is pretty obnoxious, but I still think it's a good active to have. It still kicks ass. It's still good, and it helps you go in and pop Zhonya for your team to follow up after. Or you can pop it if you get Zhonya, if you get Vi ulted, sorry, or shit like that. Shit happens like that. You never know. So it's the best thing to do to get Zhonya, in my opinion, on Cat after Luden's Echo or after Void Staff, depending on when you think is best. Personally, I'd buy the second item or third item. The Zhonya, 100%. Next up is Void Staff. No need to explain anything here. Get this item when they stack MR. It's still good on rework Katarina. I don't see why this item wouldn't be good on new Katarina. I think it's still a great item on every mid laner, really. When you see them stacking MR, get Void Staff. Haunting Guys is interesting because now Katarina's early laning phase is a lot stronger. Haunting Guys is actually not that bad. If you think about it, with that extra magic penetration and that extra aggression, along with Sorchu's magic pen, plus your runes, plus if you go magic pen marks and magic pen glyphs, you have an extra magic penetration. Like, you know, if you guys know Cat Life, he actually builds Haunting Guys. I've seen the stream, I've seen him build always magic penetration early on with the Haunting Guys and magic pen coins, marks, and glyphs. Although I wouldn't recommend all of you do that. He's just experienced enough with Katarina to feel confident building like that. But now, I actually think this is a really good item now, early stage of the game. Although, I do not recommend you build it into Liandry. Stick with Haunting Guys and then build Luden, build whatever you need. But Haunting Guys actually is very intriguing to me now with the rework because of Katarina's early aggression, and I feel like that early health will also keep you alive. Just don't finish it into Liandry. Liandry early is like so shit. Like, you're not a tank killer. For the love of God, do not buy Liandry's Torment early game. Only buy Liandry late stage of the game if you really need it. If they have so much health stacking and you can't can't burst anyone, you can do that. Although I wouldn't keep haunting guys all the way to late game. Once I have enough money, I'll sell it and buy Guardian Angel because it's more fitting late game to have a GA rather than a haunting guys. Or you can turn it into Liandry. It's completely your call. Just, I wouldn't recommend Liandry just because I don't think Katarina is a tank killer and it doesn't fit her style. Only buy Liandry when they stack health and there's no one for you to burst. Like, you can't burst anyone. It's impossible to burst anyone. Like, it's in those situations where Zac is carrying the game, or Zac is a Juani and they have a Malphite or some shit like that, and they have a Leon and it's so fucking annoying. You know, every Katarina player has those games where they have so much fucking health, you just can't burst anyone, you can't get resets, it sucks. So that's where Liandry does help you out in that scenario. Alright, well that's about it guys for our Katarina guide rework. It's pretty self-explanatory, you know. This is just the potential good items of Katarina that I think will fit her the most. And yeah, can't wait everybody. Can't wait to get some more testing on the new Katarina. It's awesome. I can't wait to play her. And yeah, looking forward to it. I hope you guys learn from this. I hope you guys just have a better idea of what to expect in the rework, what items are good, and I hope this guide helped you out to some extent. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good one. Big heart and a big kiss. Good night everyone.